Welcome inside the War Memorial Auditorium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. An exciting night of mixed martial arts in store for us. It's Fight Time Promotions 18 on the United Fight Alliance Network. Hi everybody, I'm Jay Adams alongside Olympic gold medalist Howard Davis Jr. And Howard, you have done it again. Another great card, another sold out house. What can we look forward to this evening?
Well, like I always say, Jay, exciting fights and maybe a couple of surprises and a rematch.
Avery McFadder, Mike Bruno stepping into the cage again. That's the main event. What can we look forward to in that fight?
Well, the first time they fought, it was a very exciting fight and was very close. Bruno came out ahead in that, by decision, and McFadder wanted the rematch real bad. He wanted to prove something, so we made it happen.
Yeah, and to the casual observer who was at the weigh-ins, it looked a little bit like Avery McFadder and Mike Bruno might have some bad blood between them.
Well, I don't know if it's bad blood. Maybe McFadder. Mike Bruno's pretty even-keeled fighter. I didn't see anything that, I think McFadder wants really something to prove, because the first time they met, he lost. Very close decision, Jay. So I think he has something to prove on this fight.
Also, there was a little bit of weight issues at the weigh-in. I noticed Mike was saying that I believe there was a pound over and that wasn't being addressed.
Well, I think they fixed it. They fixed it. They came to an agreement, both camps. So the fight's on.
The fight is on. The fight is on. Many other fights on this card as well. And by the looks of the weigh-ins, there were some tense weigh-ins. Everybody came fit. I believe everybody made weight. That shows you how professional Fight Time is. I'm looking forward to it. And I know the fans should be at home. So you know what? Let's not waste any time. Let's throw it cage side. We got Alex Dono and UFC veteran Rich, the Raging Bull Atenito. They've got the call. Take it away, guys.
Hello and welcome to Fort Lauderdale, Florida's historic War Memorial Auditorium, the home to so many great fights over the years. And tonight, Howard Davis Jr.'s Fight Time Promotions presents Fight Time 18, Guts and Glory. It's going to be an excellent night of pro MMA tonight. I'm Alex Dono. I'll have the call for you cage side alongside my verbal sparring partner, UFC veteran Rich, the Raging Bull Atenito. Rich, spectacular main event on tap for tonight. Mike Bruno, Fight Time veteran, will take on a very hungry Avery McFadder.
Right, Mike Bruno and Avery McFadder, they fought in Fight Time 3. Mike Bruno was able to get the unanimous decision. It was a strong wrestling game that got him that victory. Avery McFadder's wanted this fight for a long time. He's finally getting it tonight. We'll see what kind of adjustments he's made in his MMA game to come in here and try to come away with the victory.
Yeah, this is a rematch that Avery McFadder has wanted. He will get it tonight. Now, Fight Time Promotions CEO Howard Davis Jr. is a 1976 Olympic gold medalist in boxing, and he's also been a striking trainer to some of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts. Sit back, enjoy the action, and remember, it's fight time. A pair of unbeaten Brazilian fighters. This fight is brought to you by Patriot National Insurance Group. Strength, excellence, and tenacity in the workers' comp arena. Fred Moncayo in the all-black trunks. Jose Balbino Jr. in the gray trunks, grayish-black with the white trim. Balbino out of MMA Masters. Fred Moncayo out of Moncayo Brothers BJJ. Nice combination by Moncayo, but just missed with the left hand. Both of these men, they're one pro career victory. Each of them came by first round submission.
Yeah, Balbino coming out very aggressive, trying to control the cage. Freddie both trading low kicks. Freddie looks a little more relaxed, but he's got to watch. Balbino comes from a good camp, MMA Masters. You know he's going to be game and ready. He shoots in, and that might have been ill-advised. Although he actually defends the neck well. Now he's on top. Freddie Moncayo, black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Extensive ground game, a lot of submissions.
Moncayo, an excellent BJJ fighter and an excellent BJJ teacher for that matter. We'll see if he can get out of this bad spot from the bottom. Moncayo trying to get back to his feet.
Balbino doing a nice job with the wizard, controlling Moncayo. Now he's kind of back on top temporarily.
Jose Balbino on top right now here at Fight Time 18, Guts and Glory. Fort Lauderdale's historic War Memorial Auditorium. Moncayo came up through Fight Time Promotions, the amateur division. had his career pro debut in the Fight Time cage, a first-round submission against Alex Delgado back at Fight Time 16. As Balbino warned not to elbow to the back of the head. Working on that neck of Moncayo.
Yeah, Balbino very strong. He's been all over him to start, be able to stymie any kind of offense that Moncayo's been trying to get started. And right now they're kind of trapped in this half guard position. It's difficult for Balbino to create a lot of space to strike, because anytime he gets any space between him and Fred Moncayo, Moncayo's going to be shifting his hips, getting his hooks in.
An explosion from the hips there of Balbino midway through round number 1. Balbino really trying to control that body of Fred Moncayo. Good battle on the ground here so far. Howard Davis Jr.'s Fight Time Promotions. First show of 2014. This is Fight Time 18, Guts and Glory. Freddie Moncayo's corner telling him he's got to sweep and stand up. Been in this position for a very long time.
Yeah, Balbino's been doing a good job of controlling him. He's got a nice grip around his head and his neck. He'll posture up, rains down some good shots, some elbows, and then you see he goes back to the head for control, breaking him down, just focusing on staying in control here. Doesn't have to worry about advancing his position too much, as long as he can control Moncayo on the bottom and score. Right now he's winning round 1. He's all over Freddie Moncayo.
Unfamiliar territory for Moncayo, who is unbeaten as an amateur, 1-0 as a pro. Haven't seen him in too many bad positions, having to fight his way out of this one.
And again, he's got that deep half guard, and Balbino raining down big shots to his body.
Jose Balbino Jr. out of one of the best camps in South Florida, MMA Masters. Troy Waugh getting a little bit impatient with this groundwork, warning him to watch the back of the head.
That's about the second or third time he's warned him. He's got to watch.
And also warned about the 6 to 12 elbows, made famous by Matt Hamill and John Jones a while back. The only loss on John Jones' career came by disqualification.
Troy Waugh taking a good look here to where those shots are landing too.
Freddie Moncayo. Oh. He stood up here within the final 15 seconds. Warning for the 12 to 6 elbows. I don't know if Troy Waugh may take a point away for that. I guess it was only his second time warning him about the elbows, but he had warned him already, Rich, about the punches to the back of the head. Moncayo ends around with a right hand. We're going to round number 2. Freddie Moncayo, Jose Balbino Jr., round number 2, and it's brought to you by JM Lexus, the #1 Lexus dealer in the world. Low kick by Freddie Moncayo. Dominant round by Jose Balbino in round 1, Rich, but he did land a handful of illegal strikes in that round.
And he's got to watch it going forward. If he ends up landing any more illegal strikes, Troy Waugh might take a point away, and that can make a big difference in the scoring of this bout. He did have an impressive first round. He was able to control Moncayo. Now they're mixing it up on their feet a little bit more. It'd be interesting to see what happens here. They're both feeling each other out.
Oh, nice body kick by Balbino. Moncayo misses with the punch to the body. Balbino moving pretty well to get out of the way of that one. Low kick just grazing by Moncayo and answered by Balbino. We'll see how long they decide to keep it with the stand-up here, Rich, before one goes for a takedown.
Yeah, at some point you got to think somebody's going to be trying to take him down, take one another down. Whether it'll be Freddie trying to get the top game after.
Oh! Knock the you-know-what out. Spinning back fist. Heel landing on temple. Jose Balbino Jr. just delivered the most devastating knockout in Fight Time Promotions history.
Wow,
my God.
Spinning wheel kick, put out Freddie Moncayo immediately. That was very impressive performance by Jose Balbino Jr. And what an impressive KO finish. Unbelievable.
The top just blew off this building. The War Memorial Auditorium just turned into a mushroom cloud. This crowd is on their feet. Freddie Moncayo in a lot of pain. Doctors telling him not to move. That is one of the hardest kicks I've ever seen delivered in person. Only about 10 feet away from where we're sitting.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to a halt at 1 minute, 10 seconds of the second round. Your winner by knockout and still undefeated, Jose Balbino Jr. And let's hear it for Fred Moncayo.
This fight brought to you by JM Lexus, the #1 Lexus dealer in the world. Michael Johnson in the blue trunks, Mickerson Linder in the camo orange trunks. This fight should be awesome. Both of these homegrown talents coming out of the Fight Time Promotions amateur division. Mickerson Linder making his pro debut as a Fight Time amateur champion, vacated his belt here to make his pro debut tonight. As Michael Johnson working on the takedown early, he gets it.
Right, you're looking at both former Fight Time Promotions amateur division champions, and tonight they touch gloves in the cage. Both of these guys, I've seen them come up. They keep growing every fight. Obviously, this is Mickerson's first professional bout, but I've seen him grow as an amateur, and I'll tell you, he's really something special. Michael Johnson, you've seen constant improvement in him. He's shaved off some of the muscle, even though he's still as big as he is, but you've seen his progression, and he's looking to try to even up his record as a professional now.
You talk about the muscle from Michael Johnson. That dude is built like Hercules, and he swings like Paul Bunyan swinging an axe. He is powerful. We'll see, though, if the muscle could get in the way of his cardio. But like you mentioned, Rich, he has trimmed down. Did he pull guard there? Mickerson Linder on top.
I don't like that at all, and to me that shows that he does definitely not want to be on the ground. But I'll tell you one place you don't want to be in a mixed martial arts fight is underneath somebody either, especially this early on in the fight. Perhaps he thinks he can throw up some kind of ground attack while they're still dry. It's a little easier to hold on to the guy and secure something, but at Warrior Ways Academies, you can guarantee they got Mickerson ready for any kind of attack. I think it's just a risky way to start the first round of a fight. Good pass by Mickerson. Johnson working for the Kimura. He's got it locked up, and when a guy as strong as him, nice, he takes it away from his body, but Mickelson shows good flexibility. Now he's securing him in half guard.
Very calm was Linder. Didn't even flinch when it looked like his arm was about to get torn off there for a second. Another pass, Rich. Looks very comfortable on the ground so far.
Very relaxed, and you know, he's working with a takedown he didn't have to earn. I didn't like the decision from Michael Johnson, but I guess he wanted the fight on the ground. He wanted to engage the grappling.
Linder's still working Johnson up against the fence here, maybe trying to transition into taking the back.
Right. You see Johnson working for that Kimura. Linderson doing a good job of keeping weight on that side.
The Kimura
he's going for the
weapon.
straight armbar right now too. He's very strong, so you got to be careful. But now he's giving up his back. Beautiful transition for Lindor into full mount. And this is not where Johnson wants to be. Lindor's going to posture up and start raining down on him.
Mickelson Linder in his pro debut out of Warrior Ways Academy, a former Fight Time amateur stud. Rear naked choke. That is tight around the chin. Johnson, will he tap? Referee Troy Waugh is right in there. Johnson taps. This fight is over. Mickelson Linder, professional debut, makes the most of it. This young man is now 1-0 as a pro.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to a halt at 3 minutes, 8 seconds of the first round due to a rear naked choke. Your winner by submission, Mickelson Black Magic Lindo. And let's hear from Mike Johnson.
Round one, and it's brought to you by JM Lexus, the #1 Lexus dealer in the world. Alex Delgado in the blue trim gloves. Orlando Santana in the gloves with the red trim. Both of these men came up in the Fight Time Promotions amateur division. Orlando Santana was a Fight Time amateur champ.
Yeah, Orlando comes in with a lot of experience. Good submission grappler. He's been working with ATT for a while now, so he's got well-versed mixed martial arts skills, but right now he finds himself underneath Alex Delgado. Too much to handle on that exchange.
Oh, it's the pro debut for Orlando Santana, who's taking the back standing of Delgado, who flips over but gets his back completely taken now.
And this is not where Delgado wants to be. He was finished by Freddie Moncao in his last fight, similar style, rear naked choke, and right now Santana's got him in a lot of trouble.
Oh, under the chin now, and Delgado taps. Orlando Santana starts off his MMA career perfect as a professional, 1-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to a halt at 57 seconds of the first round when the blue corner taps out due to a choke. Your winner by submission, Orlando
First round of this bantamweight fight, it's brought to you by JM Lexus, the #1 Lexus dealer in the world. Chris Maluko Thorne in the black trunks, Adir Bellico Terry in the highlighter green trunks. Both of these men have fought in the Fight Time cage before. Chris Thorne twice, Adir Terry 3 times. Chris Thorne returning to Fight Time for the first time since all the way back in 2004. He's a former U.S. Marine, but he's eaten some serious uppercuts. Adir Terry throwing in the lumber. The left hand's landing on Thorne. He's pressed up against the cage.
Yeah, Terry, very good striker. Had a great fight with Kessler, the question mark, back in Fight Time 17. He's 3-1 as a professional, training out of the Freestyle Fighting Academy, so you know he's very well versed. Thorne got a lot of experience himself, this being his 13th professional fight, training with American Top Team, so you know he's prepared as well, able to break free from the cage.
Wow.
Tries the Superman punch, ill-advised though, Terry was onto it.
Thorne, by the way, dropping down to 135 for the first time, previously a 145er. It seems like his frame will work out nicely at 135.
Yeah, much better. Not necessarily a very big guy, so he's a much leaner version of himself. He's at the right weight at 135 pounds.
Nice job blocking that knee a moment ago, but eats a foot stomp. Seems like a lot of guys, Rich, forget about the foot stomp. I'm surprised we don't see it more.
Yeah, it's more of a nuisance than anything. I mean, I never particularly liked it myself. You know, I wasn't really paying attention. It definitely can distract you, though, and open up other things offensively for the guy who's doing the foot stomps. To me, it always felt like a waste of energy, though. I've never seen a fight, you know, ended with foot stomps.
Now, some of Chris Thorne's punches have been a little bit wild so far, but he's certainly looking quick. Oh, eats a gut-munching knee. Oh, another one. Those
nice
are hurting him right now.
And I think he took the wind out of him. He's looking like he's in a little bit of trouble against the cage here.
Terry now going to try to complete a takedown. Thorne survived that barrage of punches, but he's on his back now. Bellico Terry on top, working from the full guard of Chris Thorne. Thorne pressed up against the fence. We'll see if Terry can pass in the half guard right now, but Thorne regaining that full guard.
Right, Terry kind of had to try to open up to the wrong side to pass. He got stuck in the cage, and Thorne able to utilize that to scoot his hips away. He still hasn't closed up the guard yet, but now he's back in full guard. A little better point of control here.
Well, Thorne did a nice job recovering from that barrage. Doesn't seem to be too worse for the wear, but a nice combination, body to head by Terry. Listening to his corner very closely. Almost seems like it's distracting him from the matters at hand.
You're going to see a lot of ground and pound from Adir Terry.
Adir Terry putting the hand on the mouth, dropping in the elbow to the ribs right now. 2 minutes left in the round for Adir.
Thorne with the closed guard, all he's able to do is really try to control his posture. He's going to have to open his guard up if he wants to attack. And Adir's leaving some holes in his game. He's leaving his elbows, his hands on the ground, you know, opens up for things like omoplatas and whatnot, but Chris doesn't really seem to hunting for that.
Adir Terry, another punch to the ribs. Bellico trying to work that left elbow as well, trying to mix up the ground and pound. Thorne trying to get wrist control. Terry standing up, could be trying to drop something big, but Thorne gets out of it. Sprawl there by Terry, and Terry now controlling the neck.
And Thorne wisely recovers the half guard. A little bit better position, though, to get himself free. He can sweep better from here. Opportunity to come up for the single leg and try to create some space, get back on his feet.
Adir Terry constantly working, trying to create some space. The short right elbow dropping, representing the Freestyle Fighting Academy. 2 Titan South Florida schools here represented, FFA and American Top Team, and that right elbow landed.
Yeah, nice elbows from Terry on top, and he's starting to become more effective with him. Chris trying to control his posture, but Terry mixing it up nicely here.
Adir Terry acknowledging my broadcast partner, Rich Atenito. A couple more elbows dropping. Man, Bellico, a man of many talents.
He's conversing and fighting all at the same time, doing a good job of it at the moment.
A great multitasker. How do you feel Thorne's doing from the bottom here, Rich?
I mean, he's controlling his posture. He's trying to avoid damage, but he's, like I said, he's going to have to open up his guard and try to create some space, get his feet on the hips if he wants to get out of this position, because right now all he's doing is just taking a bunch of ground and pound.
Adair Terry with some of the brightest shorts we've ever seen, doing some damage there in round number 1, but Chris Thorne survives for round 2. Adair Bellico Terry, Chris Thorne. Adair Terry looking for his third. Oh! Head kick! Thorne dropping Terry! Chris Thorne looking for the finish. That came out of nowhere. Thorne is working furiously from top control. Adair Terry is in a world of trouble. Elbows from Chris Thorne.
Wow.
One of the big comebacks potentially we've seen in the Fight Time cage. Can Terry recover? Trying to throw up his guard, trying to defend himself any way possible.
Big
Christopher
head kick.
Thorne.
Big head kick from Thorne, and he has not stopped dropping big elbows, but Terry seems to be staying in it. Now he's trying to transition to maybe for an armbar, but he's ended up in a worse position here with his arm trapped underneath Thorne's leg. Although he's trying to threaten with the triangle now. He's got the head and arm scissor. Chris Thorne better watch out not to burn himself out here and get too overzealous, end up in a bad position.
It's amazing Adair Terry is still in this fight. That was one of the most explosive strikes I have ever seen in the Fight Time cage, and now it's Terry threatening for an armbar.
Right, I mean, he got dropped with a big head kick, and he looked just as surprised as everybody else to be on his back. Quick change of events here. Chris Thorne all over him in round number 2.
Now, that barrage of punches from Thorne, Rich, how much does that take out of you?
I mean, he's definitely got his brain rattled at the moment. He's trying to collect his thought. There could be cobwebs, but I mean, he looks to be regaining himself nicely. We'll see what effect it has on him going forward.
Wow.
Terry looks pretty crisp and with it, though. I got to tell you, Thorne's got to regain his composure a little bit, try to control his attack, and now you're seeing Adair Terry coming back strong. He knows he's in a fight, I'll tell you that much. I don't think he'll be doing much talking to us if he ends up on this side of the cage again.
Amazing that Adair Terry not only survived, but looks pretty fresh here. Thorne landing a knee, Terry controlling the body. Definitely the bigger of the two fighters is Adair Terry.
Yeah, without a doubt. And a lot of heart from Adair Terry coming back from that. Now he's on top. back in control in Chris Thorne's half guard. You wonder how much gas Chris Thorne wasted in that exchange, trying to go for the finish.
So a few members of the crowd now chanting Bellico, Adair Terry's nickname. Not a huge cheering section, but a vocal one. Fans representing that Freestyle Fighting Academy.
I'd like to see Chris Thorne try to work his underhook on the side. He's got the half guard, the left arm underneath. Try to bump his hips and come up for the single leg, get himself back on his feet.
You know, in talking to Adair Terry at the weigh-in yesterday, he told me he would have a surprise. He would have some new techniques for us. Wouldn't tip his cap as to what that was. Believe me, I asked him, but he wanted everyone to be surprised. Don't know if we've seen anything new so far, but we have seen a lot of good stuff from Adair.
I'll tell you what, was in control all of round one. Definitely not expecting the head kick. The Muay Thai specialist ate a big one, and man, hats off to Adair Terry, though. He kept his composure. He was able to weather the storm, and now he's back on top in control like we saw much through round number one.
Just amazing to me how quickly he was able to clear those cobwebs.
Yeah, it seemed like he was eating elbows from the top, and he still saw his eyes focused, looking for his openings, and he was able to compose himself, get that head and arm scissor, and that was the beginning of his escape from the bottom and from that initial attack by Chris Thorne.
And the hope would be that Chris didn't punch himself out, nearly finishing that fight, but I thought it was a great job by the referee, George Ortiz, in not stopping that. Despite how close Thorne was, Adair Terry was clearly defending himself the entire time.
Right, he did the right thing. I mean, he gave the fighter the opportunity. You got a very, very veteran and good official in Troy Waugh, and you know, we let the fight go. Now look at where it's ended up. We got Adair Terry taking Chris's back.
Oh yeah, excuse me, I refer to the referee as Jorge Ortiz. That is Troy Waugh back in there for this one. As Adair Terry with the body lock now.
Yeah, he's got the figure four, very difficult to get out of. Chris has got to roll him our direction to the side of the lock to begin to try to escape that. Right now he's not able to, and he's eating shots and just trying to defend the submission attempt here. Short time left in the round. Looks like Chris is going to be able to survive. Chris no pushover himself. That's a mean Marine in there.
We'll see a third and final round. Amazing what both men have survived so far. Third and final round here at Fort Lauderdale's historic War Memorial Auditorium between Chris Thorne and Adair Terry. Rich, is it safe to say this fight is even at a round apiece?
I would think so. You know, Adair Terry came back in round number 2 after that initial head kick and the attack by Chris Thorne. But again, that's a major point to score, dropping him with the head kick. So I would imagine it's one apiece. And if you're Adair Terry, you can't be thinking anything differently.
Both men have been trading kicks so far this round, but there the hands landing. Terry working on some short knees to the body. Thorne, a former state champion wrestler here in Florida, pressing him up against the fence.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, Thorne's have more success in the striking game than he has in the grappling against Adair Terry. Adair being the bigger guy.
What'd you call that? Was that a backwards cartwheel kick?
I've seen that in capoeira. It's similar, like a meia lua or a spinning wheel kick. I mean, Adair Terry's definitely a more polished, technical stand-up fighter, but Chris is tough. He's obviously got a well-versed attack. He was able to drop him with a head kick, so he's got Adair Terry's attention. And, you know, you see Terry being the one also looking to try to put it to the ground. I'd like to see Chris a little bit more aggressive, believe it or not. He's getting a little cocky here with the hands down, though. You don't want to see that. But I'd like to see Chris on the offensive. I mean, giving a guy like Adair Terry time to be composed and time his attacks is not going to work for Chris's advantage. You see a chopping low kick, very beautiful Muay Thai techniques by Adair Terry, and then going across to the other leg. Chris has got to make this fight a brawl. He's got to make it a dirty fight. Get in there, mix it up. Put the pressure on Adair Terry.
Well, Thorne avoided that takedown, lost his position though. Yeah. Terry was really getting loose in the stand-up, was mixing it up with the kicks, low and high, low and high. Thorne now on his back.
I like this fight better for Chris Thorne on the feet. Believe it or not, even with Terry's stand-up background, you know, he's had more success there and he's competing better. You know, Adair Terry's been able to control him and beat him up on the ground. Not much offense off of his back from Chris Thorne either. Right now he's got to try to create space and get himself back to his feet.
I think one of the things that makes Adair so dangerous with his ground and pound, he mixes it up. When you think he's going to go to the head, he goes to the body. When you think he's going to land a right hand, he lands a left or an elbow, always being creative.
Right, punches, elbows, different angles, the body, the head. You got to look, you got to take your openings. It's not about just punching the guy in the head. It's very difficult to ground and pound a guy that knows what he's doing and does not want to be punched.
Well, within now the final 2 minutes here of the third and final round, Thorne may need a reversal of fortunes if he wants to win this fight. Adair Terry with the short rights, firmly in control here of this third round.
Yeah, and this grappling is going to wear down Chris Thorne. Being the guy underneath, receiving all the ground and pound is going to affect your conditioning. It's going to affect...
Well, and it's going to affect the scorecards is the bottom line.
Right, that as well. But I think you're starting to see Chris Thorne a little worn down here. He's not able to mount any kind of offense off his back or create a scramble to get back to his feet, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing right now.
Adair Terry trying to create space, trying to drop those punches, trying to pass the guard now, working up against the fence with over a minute to go, so plenty of time if he's going to work for a stoppage here. Thorne did a nice job defending himself, though, at least as far as limiting the opposing strikes as much as he possibly can.
Right, without a doubt. Great, you know, good job of defending himself, controlling, you know, and minimizing the damage that he's taken off of his back. But again, he's not winning the fight on his back like this. And Adair Terry just keeps scoring, and the time is ticking.
Well, and Troy Wall has seen enough of the ground game. Separate the two fighters. So, Rich, what you prescribed, Thorne doing better on the feet. Let's see if he can take advantage.
Yeah, he needs to get aggressive. He needs to close the distance, make it ugly, and he's got to try to finish with a flurry right here. See if he can't hurt Terry again.
Oh, jumping knee by Thorne and the right hand landing. I think he realizes there is a sense of urgency here to win this fight in the third and final round.
Without a doubt, it's almost this unorthodox style of striking a little bit that's going to throw Adair Terry off.
Terry with a spinning kick. Thorne swinging his hands but not catching anything there. Oh, the big overhand right, but Terry catches him with a right counter. Oh, final seconds of the third. Terry knee to the head. Thorne going for a takedown.
Oh.
Another jumping knee. That one caught a little bit of face. Thorne missing with the right. Terry, man, I wish we had 2 more rounds of this scrap. A fantastic fight, and we'll go to the judges' scorecards.
Outstanding performance by both guys.
Wow. We'll see what the judges have to say about it, but it's hard to call either of these guys a loser tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 ferocious rounds, we go to the scorecards. Gene Waring and Tim Bonata both score the bout 29-28. John Rupert sees it 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision, Adir And let's hear it one more time for Chris Thorne.
Our main event of the evening, and it's brought to you by Patriot National Insurance Group. Strength, excellence, and tenacity in the workers' comp arena. This a rematch. Avery, the Irish Hurricane McFadder in the black trunks, and Mike Bruno in the white trunks. They fought way back at Fight Time 3 here at the War Memorial, with Mike Bruno winning a decision. Avery McFadder, Rich, has never forgotten about that fight. He's been wanting to avenge this loss for a very long time, has been calling for this rematch, and finally has it.
Right, they're here about 15 shows later, but he gets his wish, so he's coming in with a lot of motivation to win this fight. Mike Bruno's been training very hard himself, working hard in American Top Team, putting in the hours. He's trying to come off that Wagner Rocha loss, was the last fight he had here in the Fight Time cage. So he's looking to make a statement himself. Big fight for both guys, different reasons.
Yeah, McFadder just fought at Fight Time 17. Tough loss to Yoislandi Cuba Izquierdo, a third-round stoppage. McFadder been staying very active.
I'll tell you, McFadder knows what Mike Bruno's game is. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. You're seeing Mike Bruno looking a little more willing to exchange, but still really hunts for that double. Finds it. Very strong fighter, Mike Bruno. Once he gets on top, he's really good at controlling and dominating his opponents.
Yeah, when Bruno gets on top of you, he's like a wet blanket, but McFadder able to get back to his feet, and that was the story of the first fight. McFadder didn't have an answer for the takedowns, didn't have an answer for the ground control. So obviously the Irish Hurricane has learned something over the last 15 Fight Time shows.
And he just had a nice Kimura locked up to defend the single. He was able to reverse Mike temporarily. And now he ends up back underneath him.
Elbows by Bruno. When he is on top of you, he can be lethal.
Yeah, he's a bully on top. He will beat you up, ground and pound you, land big shots, control you, wear you down, and grind you out. And that's patented Mike Bruno. And McFadder knew that coming into this fight, so it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do offensively to get himself back in the fight now that he's on his back again. He had to expect to be here a little bit.
Because when you're a grinder like Bruno, he knows that cardio's not going to be an issue. He can get on top of you. He can wear you down. Loves to throw those elbows. And if you tie him up, he loves to tie your neck up in a can opener, which will eventually open you up. A lot of creative techniques. I call them schoolyard bully techniques. Mike Bruno's the type of guy who will take your lunch money, give you an atomic wedgie, a swirly, whatever he has to do to open you up.
Without a doubt, he'll take your lunch money, slap you in the face, and then call you a funny name if that's what it takes. And right now he's all over McFadder. He's got to watch his hips though. McFadder doing a good job of controlling his arm, and now Mike Bruno ends up on the bottom, and McFadder allowing him back up. That's obviously where McFadder wants the fight to be. Mike Bruno, well-timed takedown. And there's that big power we talked about, Alex.
That one made the arena shake.
You can expect to see a couple more of those as this fight continues. Mike Bruno, always big, powerful takedowns.
This is Bruno's 6th appearance in the Fight Time cage, and in virtually every fight, except maybe the Wagner Rocha loss, we've seen at least one thunderous Mike Bruno slam, one of his signatures.
Exactly, and I mean, Mike Bruno, very strong and powerful this weight class. The longer McFadder stays underneath him, you know, the less advantageous it is. But he's doing a nice job. I like how he's hunting for the Kimura. You've seen that a couple of times. He's been able to manipulate Mike a little bit and threaten him with some things that have allowed him to get back up to his feet.
Oh, big hammer fist. So Bruno ate that kick, but still charging forward. McFadder trying to work on that left arm for a Kimura. Avery McFadder, always very attentive, listens closely to his corner. He's coming over from Tampa, Florida. Gracie Brandon in Tampa. Mike Bruno, of course, an American top team trainee down here in Coconut Creek, Florida.
And he's still got that Kimura locked up nice. I'm sensing a big slam from Mike Bruno here.
Bruno trying to make his mark at Fight Time 18. The takedown completed. Bruno has fought in the Fight Time cage so many times. He refers to this place as the Fight Time Arena. But you might as well call the War Memorial the house that Mike Bruno built. He has been featured so prominently in this building. We're going to go to the stools here momentarily unless something drastic happens here, but a nice round between Bruno and McFadder. Bruno had a tougher time taking him down than I thought he would.
Yeah, and McFadder did a good job of getting himself back up on his feet to stay game in the first round.
Second round of our main event, it's brought to you by JM Lexus, the #1 Lexus dealer in the world. Mike Bruno, Avery McFadder. Main event of the evening, a rematch dating all the way back to Fight Time 3. We're here at Fight Time 18, Guts and Glory. Couple right hands landed from McFadder. Good footwork to get out of the way and avoid that takedown attempt.
McFadder starting to pick him apart a little bit. Mike Bruno trying to stay in the pocket and be game. McFadder's got to close the distance to land punches, though. Mike Bruno does a great job of timing it, eating a couple shots and taking them down, almost like the Rocky Balboa of MMA.
I mean, Bruno just never quits. When he goes for a takedown, doesn't get it, you know he's only seconds away from going for another one. I really think the only way to negate his takedown offense is, you know, to have what happened to him against Wagner Rocha, a guy who is so adept at submissions from the bottom. Anyone else is just going to wind up on their back. They're going to wind up taking punishment, like those elbows raining down from Bruno right now.
Yeah, he's really starting to impose his game on it as well. Trying to break down Avery McFadder. Nice elbows from the top.
Man, face rattling.
I mean, you see how strong Mike Bruno is. Avery McFadder had control of his wrists, and he still was able to land heavy elbows, even though he had part of his arm controlled.
So strong is Mike Bruno, one of the strongest fighters in Fight Time history, as McFadder trying to rise up his guard, giving the crowd something to cheer about, but Bruno bullies his way right out of it.
I'll tell you, I've trained with Mike Bruno. He's a lighter weight than I am, but when you train with the guy, you can see why he's so powerful in the cage, very physically strong. And the things that he does well, and he executes his game when he gets in here. But Avery McFadder, man, they scramble, and now Avery McFadder ends up in the mount position.
Whoa.
Not something Mike Bruno was planning, I'm sure, but he's prepared for it. I can't see what's going on as far as the choke being sunk. He's got Mike Bruno's back, and he's got him stretched out. This looks like trouble, Alex.
It's like big trouble.
I can't tell what's going on. I'm sure Mike's fighting the hands off.
I don't think he is fighting the hands off. I'm just not sure if the choke is under the chin or not. I mean, Bruno's arms are pinned. Oh, and that is under the chin winch. Bruno's just going to have to fight his way out of this with sheer strength. He may go out. Mike Bruno is out. Avery McFadder, after losing their first fight, wins the rematch by submission. Mike Bruno is still unconscious. What a win for the Irish Hurricane, who's crying with joy. Avery McFadder, all the hard work paying off, scoring the huge submission win.
What an unbelievable fight. What a great job by Avery McFadder. He wanted the rematch. It was looking like a very Mike Bruno dominant fight, but Avery McFadder stayed game, able to secure the mount in the scramble, take Mike Bruno's back, stretch him out, and finish with the rear naked choke. Unbelievable performance.
What a comeback.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to a halt at 2 minutes 42 seconds of the second round due to a rear naked choke. Your winner by submission, Avery the Irish Hurricane!
We're here with the CEO of Fight Time Promotions and Olympic gold medalist, and also being inducted into the New York Boxing Hall of Fame, Mr. Howard Davis Jr. You did it again. Another great night of fights. We don't have a lot of time, so let's just talk about the highlights.
Sure.
Carlos Balbino, that crazy spinning back heel kick for the knockout. One of the most devastating knockouts I've ever seen.
I've never seen a kick like that in a Fight Time cage. Fred Moncal never seen the kick coming, and down he went, and out he went.
There was a rematch on the card this evening.
Yes.
It was our main event.
Yes.
That, of course, Avery McFadder and Mike Bruno. They had fought in the past. Mike Bruno came up big in the first fight. This time, Avery McFadder with the rear naked choke put Mike Bruno to sleep. Is there going to be a rubber match? Did you talk to either of the fighters?
Well, I talked to Mike Bruno after in the dressing room, and he said he wants to fight right away. So I'm gonna try to make it happen. If Avery McFadder wants it, it'll happen.
Well, it was a great night of fights. You had a little bit of everything on the card here tonight. I want to thank you personally, and congratulations on the induction into the New York Boxing Hall of Fame. Now I believe you've got Jersey, you've got Florida, and probably next time, you know, in a year from now, you'll have 5 more states. You seem to just be knocking them down. You're gonna have them all.
Well, all the states that I got inducted in, I lived in, so I don't know about Alaska.
You might have to go up and just do one more fight to get
Really?
Alaska.
Well, I don't think so.
That ain't happening.
No.
I want to thank you once again, Olympic gold medalist and CEO of Fight Time Promotions, Mr. Howard Davis Jr., for welcoming us into your promotion. It was a great night of fights. I'm Jay Adams for Howard Davis Jr., saying we'll see you next time on Fight Time Promotions on the United Fight Alliance Network.